Hello, my name is Karl Popowics. I'm an attorney at Goodin Abernathy. At Goodin Abernathy, we frequently get questions about work accidents, and typically people want to know things like, who pays for my medical treatment? What happens if I can't work and I'm missing out on my wages? What happens if I don't get better? I'm going to try to answer some of these basic questions involving workers' compensation, starting with the medical bills. When a worker is injured at work, typically the employer must provide medical treatment. The employer should pay for that medical treatment. So when a worker goes to the doctor will create a bill, and then the doctor will submit it to the employer, and that bill will be paid. Now the employee or the worker, they're not free to choose the physician or the medical facility that they go to see unless it is an emergency. So although the employer will pay the bill, typically the employer has the right to decide which physician or which facility will provide that treatment. With respect to lost wages, if you're off work for more than 7 days, the employer is responsible for paying a portion of your wages. I say a portion because under the law, it's only responsible to pay 2/3 of your wages if you've missed 7 days of work. The easiest way to do that is to have the employer calculate what you make in an average week, multiply that by 2/3, and that's the amount of wages that the employer will typically pay. They will continue to pay that rate and while you're off work until a doctor decides that you are as good as you're going to get and you require no additional medical treatment. In workers' compensation, that event is typically called MMI, which is an acronym for Maximum Medical Improvement. When the worker has reached MMI, if the worker is better, the worker will go back to work and no wages will be paid from that date forward. Sometimes the worker isn't completely better, but the doctors have pronounced the worker at MMI. Typically this means that there's nothing more that can be done for this worker, and they have tried and exhausted all the medical treatment that they can to try to get this worker back to the way they were before they were injured. If that is the case, and the worker has not improved to the way they were before the accident, the physician will also typically provide the individual with what is called a permanent partial impairment rating. The acronym for that is a PPI rating. This is important because if a worker receives a PPI rating, the employer is also responsible for compensating the worker based on that rating. In the simplest of terms, the higher the rating, the more money the employer must pay to the worker. The amounts are all set by statute, and the physicians will guide you through the process if you reach MMI and have a PPI rating. Of course, if you have other questions about workers' compensation, please don't hesitate to call Goodin Abernathy. Thank you.